Hey, what's up YouTube? Dan the Fix-It Man. Got a different video here for you today, and don't know if I'll split this up in a few videos, but this is a 1967 Mercury Cougar, and I was going to film changing the water pump, which I've already done, but I decided to road trip this from Washington State down to California, about 1,250 miles. This is not a daily driver. This is was owned by my father-in-law. I just bought it from him. It's in pretty good shape. I'll give you a quick little walk around here. It's got a little scratch and dent here and there, but overall it's pretty straight, pretty clean, pretty good shape here. Just gonna show you what we got in the trunk. He said this is running pretty hot, so I've got lots of extra water and some extra coolant, and we did, in addition to changing out that water pump, we went ahead and put in a new thermostat and took out the radiator and flushed that out. He's done quite a bit on this as far as just little things here and there. Got the trunk mat, which is new. Got lots of spare parts in here. I threw some gear oil in there. It looked like we might have had a little leak out of the differential. And some transmission fluid, power steering fluid. Everything was a little low, but not bad. So I think we're gonna be good. Pretty good shape. I mean, a little bit of wear on the driver's seat is normal. Mileage says 56,640 and change. I'm sure that's at least 156, but when you look down here at the pedals, that doesn't look too bad if those are the original, which I think they are. This actually may be a pretty low mileage vehicle. When he bought it, it had been sitting, he said, a long time, and lots of sludge in the gas tank. He put a new gas tank in it and a few other things. I'll bring it back under the hood. Still has the original hubcaps. He put some new tires on it, which is great. And like I said, we did the water pump last night. A little bit of a pain. You have to take off the power steering little bracket there. This AC bracket, of course, had to take the fan off. And we still had to take off the alternator bracket as well and loosen that up. But we did put in a new thermostat here. Fuel lines here are just kind of run from the hard line, which is protected here, to a soft line. He actually had to clip. Let me show you here in the fender. This is his soft line run going all the way back, kind of just sisters the metal line, which was full of crud, and we may end up changing that. But for right now, it looks safe enough to drive. It's clear the exhaust, and he put some headers on here, which you can see down there with the heat wrap on there. They look pretty good. I usually like to individually zip tie all the spark plug wires out of the way, but so far everything looks good. It's not rubbing on anything. This isn't ideal. I know that's not all the original fittings, but it's there. We're not leaking now. Looks like at one point it was leaking some fuel down in that valley. Again, this is mostly just sat in the garage up here in Washington State for many years, I think 4 or 5 years, and just really hasn't been driven. But he did have a nice little battery maintainer here, so it's battery's in good shape. Front shocks are old. Rear shocks have been replaced. Just topped off the transmission. It's about a quart low. Still driving and shifting just fine. We've already done a little test drive here, about a half an hour drive out here. We're on Whidbey Island right now. Beautiful place. Give you a little visual here at Grandma's house. And here's the Cougar, another shot of what it looks like. The headlights actually work. They do tilt up. This one's really slow to come back down. I'm not sure. Looks like there's a spring down there, but I'm not sure exactly what actuates these. I'll have to look into that. I've never owned a Cougar before. Looks like this is like some sort of a vacuum diaphragm, but they do work. As soon as you turn on the headlights, those tip up, which is pretty cool. That's kind of one of the cool things about a Cougar. And let's see what else. It's factory AC car, but of course the belt is off. I went to spin this and it's pretty stiff. You can see it wants to just turn the whole compressor there instead of just kind of freewheel. So we can either work on that, not for this trip. We're unfortunately not going to have AC on the road, and that's okay. It's not pretty much what we expected. I'm sure it'll need more than just that too, but we'll figure out what we want to do with this. As of right now, we're not going to restore this. This is just going to be a runner, just drive around town. have fun with the kids. He, of course, did put this carburetor on there, the Edelbrock. That's a 650, and it's running fine. He said it was already pre-tuned, and we did have a little issue with this clip coming off. The original clip that was on here was snapped, and he had it wired. I bought this little aftermarket clip, and I don't know if that's gonna last our whole trip, but I wired it on here too. I think it'll work. The temp sensor, the temperature gauge is working, and after that flush out and a new water pump, we're running pretty cool. New hoses too. I think I said that already, but right now it's actually driving okay. Brakes aren't too great. It's a 4-wheel manual drum, but it is stopping. Just takes a lot of effort, so it's a little bit of a workout to stop, and it doesn't stop quick, but it does stop. And I mean, having brakes, I wasn't too worried about that, but it is a long haul, and we do have a few steep grades to hit, but we may have to downshift and make our way. So that's our plan, is to road trip this in the next couple of days down to Southern California, and we'll see if we can do it. So I'll keep you posted here throughout, but I'll fire it up here so you can see what it sounds like now. But most of the emblems are all still here. Some of this is all taken apart, but he's got a lot of those original pieces. Let's just get it started up here real quick. Sounds good. He's got exhaust on here, so sounds good. It's a little saggy in the rear. Got the original leaf springs, and they are pretty sprung, but you can see it's running good. Pretty smooth overall. Probably could use some motor mounts. It's pretty shaky when you go to start it. So like I said, in a couple days we'll be hitting the road, and then it'll probably take us 2, maybe 3 days to get home. I'll definitely keep you posted. I mean, if we end up on a tow truck, that's life, you know, that may happen, but we're excited. Wife is with me for this trip, and we'll see how it goes. So we started running kind of rough, and I noticed down here this plug was awfully close to the header, and looks like we were burned and probably arcing on that. So what we did, I'm gonna pull this off. We got a replacement plug wire, and I'll show you. We bought a whole set of wires, some zip ties to tie these up better, but I also got this little insulator kit, so we'll see how that works. I'm gonna pick a wire that's the same length and put this back together and see how that holds up. So there we are with our new wire and the shield. Okay, that's on. I think that's gonna work. Nice little shield protecting that from hopefully burning and arcing. I think the rest of these are okay. These are 10 bucks each, unfortunately. There's only 2 of them in the kit. They cost 20 bucks. And I think we'll make a little wire loom and tie these out of the way over here and see how that works. Well, it's running good. The mist is gone, so I think that's that quick little spark plug boot fixed us up for now. Well, we're just getting ready to leave and hit the road. Drove it around a little bit more yesterday, but really most were just visiting with family, so we're kind of still just rolling the dice here, see if we can make it. We're shooting to get home in 3 days, but if we have some issues, we got a little bit of wiggle room there. Hopefully within the next few days we'll be down in California. Wish us luck. We'll see how it goes. Well, it seems like it's running pretty smooth this morning. We're just about to go get some fuel. Gas gauge does work. Speedometer does not work, so we're just using the app on our phone here, but we'll just get underway here, get on the freeway shortly, and see how she does. All right, so we're about an hour and a half in and hitting a little bit of traffic here, but temperature gauge looks good. Burning a little bit of fuel, but so far so good. Well, we're about 84 miles into the trip so far and only took 4.3 gallons. Can't believe it, but we're getting right around 19 miles to the gallon. Oh, we've got about another 140 miles, and it's the first time I'm adding oil here. Super Tech here, 1030. Hopefully that'll work. But if that's the first time I'm adding oil, I don't think we're burning too much based on the mileage. Maybe I can get some of it in there. So it looks like it used just about 1 quart. No, it's not smoking or anything. 1 quart of oil and 250 miles. I've seen worse. I think we're good. No leaks. Everything else looks pretty good. So let's get it back on the road. Well, I've been on the road about 7 hours now. Temps are still staying low, even though it's getting hot outside. All right, well, we're just getting out of a rest stop here. We're not quite to Grants Pass or Medford. That was kind of our goal for today, but we might push it a little farther depending on how the car does. A little warm. I mean, it's about halfway, so it's not bad. That's kind of where it's been staying on some of these grades, and that's all right. But we are still burning some oil. We're using about 1 quart every 200 or so. I did just put in 1 more quart, and I guess that's it. I've only added it twice, but that's all right. That's enough to get us home, and I'll top that off here at the next stop, and we'll probably pick up some more oil. I got most of the oil in the valve cover. Didn't spill a bunch, but I did spill some on the exhaust, so we're smelling that, but that's all right. We're ready to get back on the road. Getting through Medford, Oregon now. Well, we're just heading up through the Siskiyou Mountains here. The Siskiyou summit, getting close. And this air is nice and cool. We're hitting this at the right time of day. Got really lucky because it was really hot today, but this is now nice and cool, so we're good. We're not going real fast, but we are making our way up, and looks like we're gonna get through it. All right, so we're almost to Redding and just stopped and checked the oil. And yeah, we're down again another 3/4 of a quart. So we just topped that off. I still feel quite a bit of heat coming off here, but as you can see, it's cooling down. Nice shot of Mount Shasta there in the back. Now we did have a little scare, a little bit of smoke. I thought something was burning, and I'm not sure exactly what it was. We were accelerating pretty quick, and I'm wondering if it was the power steering fluid right here on the handle. And I think it was overfilled by me before we left, and I'm wondering if that just pushed out, and you can see that that would have dropped right there on the exhaust and burned off and caused that smoke. And of course, with more RPMs, that would have pumped out a little bit more. So I'm thinking that was our issue. A little bit of a scare. You know, I didn't have a fire extinguisher, which we do now. We stopped and grabbed one. Feel better about that now, just in case, you know, with the fuel lines and everything. Just wanted to make sure we're covered. But I think we're ready to get back on the road. So let's keep going. About another hour, just over an hour to where we're stopping for the night, and then we'll hopefully wrap this up tomorrow. All right, so we may have been prematurely celebrating there. We just were we're broke down here on the side of the road on the 5 South, 27 miles to our hotel, unfortunately, but just completely lost power and the car died. Right now I got no spark. I suspected a coil, which I happen to have the old one here, which is a spare, and so I threw that on, but it's still nothing. So we're waiting for a tow truck. We're unfortunately gonna have to get it towed. I just don't have all the tools and parts to try to diagnose this. I don't even have a multimeter or a voltmeter, so we're stuck and we're waiting. And that's part of the adventure, I guess. So we'll keep you posted. Well, we made it to the hotel on the tow truck. I think it might be the ignition module and the distributor, you know, or the ignition module slash pickup combo. We'll see what we can find in the morning, but we're just gonna call it quits tonight. Well, I am getting my morning walk here on my way to O'Reilly. I'm gonna go see if I can get a voltmeter, and I think it's gonna be that electronic ignition module that's inside the cap. That was done before I got the car. You know, they took out the points and condenser, and that's supposed to be real reliable and real hot and better and all that, but it was working fine. And then, you know, we just all of a sudden lost power, lost spark, and that's what I'm leaning towards, but we'll find out. So I'm gonna get over there, see what I can get, see if we can get maybe even get a replacement, and then get that swapped out. Hopefully it's a quick, easy fix, but you never know. We'll just see what we come up with. Talking to a buddy, he just said make sure that your rotor inside the cap is spinning, so I'm probably gonna get back and double check and kind of rule out the obvious, make sure that we didn't shear off the gear or have a problem with the cam. So we'll get over there and take a look at that as well. But right now I'm just walking to the parts store. It's about a 20-minute walk, so I'll keep you posted. All right, so there's our new pickup or igniter, I guess. The old magnet's still on there. It does come with a new one here, but I just threw it together. Got it wired up to the coil. I just put the other coil back on. I know it was known good, and I just kind of wasn't too sure about this, the older one that I had put on last night on the side of the road. Again, with no tools, just really trying to, well, limited tools, I guess. Let me get it buttoned back up, put the cap on, hook up the wire, and see what happens. And just one more quick mention, I just kind of spun the fan, and you can see the rotor move, so at least we know our cam's not busted or anything like that. But let's put the cap on and give it a try. That was it. That was our issue. Definitely a bad igniter by Pertronix, but new one works. Now it might have a bad ground, or there might be some wiring issues that caused that to go bad, or it might have just gotten hot. I don't know. I am so happy that that's all it was. Quick and easy fix. Kind of a pain versus points and condenser that they can just die like that and completely go bad, but I'm just so happy that that was it, and we're back up and running. Quick and easy fix. It's only 8:30 in the morning. Dean here in Reading at the Reading O'Reilly was very helpful, and shout out to my tow truck driver Dalton for pointing me towards him, and of course getting us here safe. So ready to get back on the road. Just gonna go grab some breakfast, get changed, and then we'll head out. All right, we're just topping it off here in Reading, and then we'll hit the road. We're just a little over halfway, got another 625 miles to go. Just another 625 miles. Fires right up now. Thank goodness. It's already heating up, but we'll take her easy. Well, we're cruising through California. Got another 350 miles to go. It's hot. Temps are staying okay though. It just doesn't love these long, slow grades, but we're getting there. Slowly but surely. Alright, so I am pulled over on a rest stop here, and as you can see, we hit a bump and just some construction in the road, transition that probably knocked the header up and knocked these bolts out. Snapped them off. Luckily the exhaust is still here. I just got some wire here. I'm just gonna try to tie it up so it doesn't fall down any worse. It'll still be loud, but at least I can get that tied up out of the way and see if we can secure it enough to get back on the road. Of course, it's really, really hot. too far there. That's all right. Right about there. All right, well, that's not perfect, but just threw a few wraps of wire on there just to try to hold that in place, at least keep from dropping our entire exhaust and entire muffler. But I can't quite get to the bolt on the other side. I'm just gonna hope that that will stay in. Well, I got it wired back on. That's a lot quieter. Luckily that one bolt held on, and could have been really bad. We could have lost that entire muffler. Back together, a little quieter than it was, and we'll just keep on going. The sun is actually behind us, which is nice because it was getting pretty hot in here. But we're doing all right. We got lots of ice. We got a cooler in the back, and just trying to stay cool. Another 250 miles, and we'll be home. All right, well, my wires didn't hold, and we lost the other side. We lost the bolt, so we started dragging. You can see right there, but luckily didn't lose it. So let's get it put back together. Hopefully the wires will hold. I'll just put more wires on this time and get it fixed. I won't be able to get to the top from here, so I'm just going to try to put a few more ties on the bottom on either side just to make sure it's strong. We're actually just sitting on the grapevine here, so it's not a bad thing because we are cooling off a little bit more. Definitely doesn't look pretty, but I have to get on the road. Just had to use the curb here as a jack. Let's do it. Let's keep going. Well, we're heading up the grapevine. We ended up for the first section, and we're still staying pretty cool. That's where we were stopped working on the exhaust. So really might have been a good thing because it's been over 100, and right now it seems like it's starting to cool down. So I think we kind of timed this pretty well. Got about 90 miles to go. Plugging along, staying cool. Made it. It's a long haul, but we're here. Well, we made it home. Took 2 full days. It's about 11 o'clock at night right now. And we did do about 1,300 miles total. I just want to say thanks to Bob for selling this to me and for storing it until I can get up there and get it down here. And a huge thanks to my wife for coming with me and being my co-pilot. It was a huge help having her with navigation and getting us to where we needed to go and everything else. So a couple breakdowns, of course, along the way. Only one tow. Everything else we were able to get back on the road, but the exhaust coming off, hanging on by a thread or a few wires there rather, but we'll get that buttoned up here soon. And I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Kids have already run out here and saw it, and they're excited to go for a drive and learn to work on cars. And that's what this is all about. I tell you, if you've never done a road trip in an old car, I suggest you try it. It's a lot of fun. It's challenging, but it's very rewarding. And if you're to ask me if I would do this again, absolutely I would. Totally worth it. Had a lot of fun. Also just want to say thanks to everybody who stopped when we were stuck. Several people stopped and asked if we needed help. That doesn't happen too much anymore, and I just thought that was very nice. Appreciate all the honks and waves along the way. Definitely a fun car, fun addition to the family. And I think we'll have a lot of fun with it. But after talking to Bob, it sounded like he's only driven this maybe 100 miles in the last 6 years. He definitely didn't think it was roadworthy, thought we were a little maybe crazy for doing this. 1,300 miles, I have to say, it was a lot of miles for very little time spent on working on it, fixing it. But that's what it's all about. You know, you kind of just got to get it ready and go. And I definitely didn't feel ready, but we went for it, and I'm glad we did. And thanks so much to all my friends and family, and of course my subscribers and all you guys out there for watching. That's a huge support, and it allows me to do stuff like this. So thanks so much for watching, and good luck.